A Gato Designs is a small, independent fashion label based in the DC metro area. Designs take inspiration from Japanese street fashion, as well as alternative fashions produced with mindfulness for slow fashion, inclusivity, and self-expression. For Purgatorio, they will be releasing Midsummer Magic, a limited-run collection. Inspired by fairy tales and gender fluidity, this collection was designed to fit all body types and gender identities. This collection will be available for pre-order July 3rd and 4th during Purgatorio. For more information, you can visit their website at agatodesigns.com. Art Pastel Kelsey is an artist whose cute artwork focuses on diversity and inclusivity. Check out her Etsy for her release of kawaii resin rings and pastel pendants, as well as enamel pins. You can find more information at her website at artpastelkelsey.com. Eat Me, Ink Me is inspired by the elegance of the past eras and alternative influences. Reinventing the eternal battle between style and fashion, Eat Me, Ink Me tries to invent stylish clothing from fashions long gone. Using the prints and materials both new and vintage, Eat Me, Ink Me tries to tell stories through clothes to make each piece magical, ensuring they're still unique, long-lasting, and comfortable.
Look at me leaving myself on mute like a fool, but that's the last of the event for you. Hello. Welcome to our first panel of the day, where we're talking with lovely guests Haenuli and Mossbadger about their process for collabing for their latest release. So first, I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves. So I'm, of course, Bhuvi Thal, one of the members of J Fashion On Demand, and I'm your moderator today. And then Haenuli, you can go next.
I don't know how to introduce. Yeah. I am Haenuli from the Haenuli brand in Lolita Fashion. Right now, I have kind of retired, but I still want to participate as a Lolita designer. So this is a good chance to introduce myself. I did collaborate with Mossbadger, and I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Jordana, also known as Mossbadger. I'm so bad at introductions. Let's see. When did I start this? 2012, maybe? I don't remember. Something like that. And I make Lolita dresses and accessories since around 2012. And I'm sweating because I decided the backdrop needed to be cute. And the only room with air conditioning is my bedroom, where I just have a plain white wall. So I'm all like, my glasses are already fogging up, but... Welcome to Summer Lolita.
Yes. Both of them introduced themselves so succinctly, despite being both very iconic members of the community and designers. So Haenuli, most people are familiar with as one of the brands that's been around a long time and has offered accessibility in sizing for a long time, and has been a lot of people's, like my first starter dream dresses. Jordana, of course, has been a big player in the American indie scene and is a large part of why we are able to have a thriving goth indie scene at all, because Jordana, along with a few others, paved the way for us, producing lots of iconic prints, starting way back when she used to hand screen print with tiny, tiny little screens, because that's how dedicated she was to making sure everything was going to be just right and just beautiful. And that dedication still shows through with her designs today, including the very popular, I can't pronounce this word, but the bat dress. We're going to call it the bat dress because
I think it's chiropteran.
Chiropteran garden.
Yes.
Yes. Bats and roses. Excellent. A++. So I'm sure everybody watching is familiar with these two, but now that we've added that extra context, tell me about how you two started talking and when you met, and as designers and as friends.
Can I start first? I think I met Jordana, the Mossbadger designer. Jordana, the designer of the Mossbadger, was from I think 2015, the RuffleCon, I think. Mm-hmm. And what I got invited for that convention was there's a lot of indie designers from America, and like the guest was from Japan was the Truffle Fortune, and Korea was only me. So I was kind of like the first time ever for the overseas Lolita convention. I went to like Korea Lolita convention like 12 times, but the scale was completely different in America. It just kind of like really blast, and it was a really good chance to meet a lot of American designer at that time, and that was the time when I met Jordana, and she has really good designs, and I really admire all the designs, and the designer personality is like really sweet, and she's really humble. If you think about her, like all the talents, all the like ideas, and like those passion of the designs and fashion, she's so humble and so sweet. So I'm like, oh, I would like to like know her more. So it was keep growing my heart for like very long time. So I ended up kind of like, can we do the like collaboration, please? And I kind of like dragged her inside. So I'm really happy. She was like really welcoming my thoughts and my inviting. So yeah, I don't know how to end, but yeah, that's happened.
Yeah, and I would add to that, we also got to hang out at Teco in Pittsburgh, and that was like super fun. And like I remember just like getting to enjoy the dinner after the con was over and getting to hang out and actually like socialize more. And then again in Germany in 2019, we got to see each other, and I got to be the kind of the moderator for the panel of Haenuli talking about her brand, and getting to be on stage together. So that was really fun too.
Yeah, that was right.
Oh, I remember watching the playback of that panel because it was recorded. You guys had very good chemistry on stage, and that was a lovely panel. And I think Teco was also, that was 2017?
Maybe, I don't remember the year.
2017 or like 2016
or 2017, one of those.
Yeah, it was 2016.
Yeah.
That was also the first time I'd met Haenuli. And I'd known Jordana before then, but that was kind of the first event where I got to interact with more of the designers, really. That was a very memorable.
I think it's one of the greatest thing about America designers are really have very social together, and they're really kind of like supporting each other. Like even you don't know really each other like personally, but you know, like there's a designers in America. So like, oh, I know that designer. I've been watching her or following her account, following her like Instagram, and her design is cool. Like really like supporting each other and like telling to other Lolitas. So that was like really moving for me. I'm like, oh, this community is working so well. Like, you know, kind of like that. And I'm really happy that you guys are like even welcoming me, the outsider of the America. So I'm like, oh, this is so sweet, kind of like really feeling welcoming. So it's super nice to like work with Fruitel and Mossbadger at the same time. It was so awesome.
Yeah, I think so of course Lolita Collective with Jordana as one of the founding designers. However, early on, altogether they focused on creating a community of designers in the indie scene, and that community focus has definitely perpetuated throughout the entire J Fashion designer community. I think because we're all working together, so we should remember that. So you two first started, so I think you first publicly mentioned that you were looking to collab at that event in Germany in 2019. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think I publicly like proposed to Jordana, like, let's collaborate in front of every Lolita. So in that Germany event, so it was nice. And yeah, after that, didn't had a plan to. I had no idea what to start with. Like there's a desire, but there was no designs. But I was preparing the tarot at that time anyway, and it was really glad that it kind of like all of a sudden like I would like to make a dress, but the one of the tarot design of the dress, iconic design, my opinion was Mossbadger's Mystic Tarot. So I wanted to like ask her to collaborate with that design together to combine with my tarot because her tarot design was really, really pretty. And I also personally have that dress as well. And that dress is even really more gorgeous in real life. So yeah, I'm really glad she said okay with it.
I remember when Nunu bought the dress and I was like, I think I was buying groceries and I saw the thing come through on my phone and I started crying.
No.
Oh. Oh.
I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this panel without crying, honestly. You know how I am.
I hope you have some tissues on hand.
I don't, of course. I should have thought of that, but I didn't. So here we are. I have waterproof eyeliner on. It's fine.
Would you like to talk a little bit about that original Mystic Tarot design?
Sure. So I don't know if you have the pictures of like the three models on the stairs.
I have it somewhere. I'm going to pull it up while you talk.
So originally, Mystic Tarot was actually a screen printed dress, and it was the regular Lolita length. And the first time, and only time, I showed it was at the first RuffleCon, which I want to say was 2015. I have no concept of years. So, okay. And so that was, I just showed 3 dresses, and that was before I was doing as much like digital printing. So I was doing a lot more screen printing myself because I'm trying to remember what the other dresses were. But one of them was also a silkscreen dress, and I can't remember if the third one was probably regular, like digital printing. But it was just a metallic color on like a purple cotton. And I think I had there's a picture with the models, and then there's a picture of just the fabric showing because you kind of see the print better. And I wanted to do a tarot print, but I didn't want to do the typical, like there's a tarot that most people think of when they think of a tarot card. It's probably the most well-known deck. It's the Rider-Waite, otherwise known as the Rider-Waite-Smith, because the artist Pamela Coleman Smith like deserves to be credited. But that's the sort of, not generic, but like the typical tarot design that you see. It's a lot of people's first deck. And I didn't want to use that because I didn't want to do like the obvious thing. So I found a medieval tarot design, and I used that, and I added some of like the suns and moons to like make the design a little bit longer. but it was like a regular Lolita length dress, like knee length.
I think I found the photo for that one. Correct me if this is wrong.
Nope, that's a different one.
Okay, different 3-person dress.
Yeah, or there's like a picture of just like a big purple piece of fabric. You could show that one too. That's
yes, I'll show that for now, and then I'll keep looking for the other one.
Okay. So that was when I was doing more silk screening. So it's like a metallic screen print. It was like a silvery, almost like a pinkish silver on a dark purple cotton. So that was the original Mystic Tarot. And back then I did a lot of like one-off dresses. Like I would just make a dress for a fashion show and then sell it usually to the model, and then that would be bad. And I wouldn't make it again. But then a couple years later, because I know I showed it at another RuffleCon actually, but I don't remember if that was the first time I showed it.
Oh, here it is.
Yes, that's that picture. Ooh. So you can see actually Emma modeling it as much as she hates to model in the middle. Yeah, so that was when I was doing the cats in frames. That was like my first like digital print. It's so funny because that picture frame on her head, I was literally cleaning this weekend, cleaning my sewing room, and I found that thing. And I can't believe I put that on anyone's head. It's so heavy. Okay, but anyway, so that was, I think that was the first year of RuffleCon. That was my fashion show contribution.
How many screens did it take you?
So that one was, I think, 2 screens. It might have been 3, because the stuff at the top was probably a separate screen, the suns and moons, and then the bottom was probably a bigger screen. So yeah, so you have to register. Registration is the process of kind of figuring out where the pattern starts and stops, so that when you silk screen it, you like are the right distance away. So I keep making these prints like this where it's like separate things are going on, and it's like really complicated, which means that I'm the only one who can print them, and it doesn't make sense to have it like sent out to someone else, which I need to like be better about because I don't have time to print things anymore. But anyway, that was the original Mystic Tarot. So then I started to get away from all the silk screening because it's a lot of work and it's a lot of time, and I was doing more digital printing. And the thing that I like about silk screening that you can't do with digital printing is metallics. Like you can't have that shiny, sparkly thing in a digital print. So this is the digital print version of Mystic Tarot, and I decided that instead of having the metallic, since I can't do that with digital print, but I didn't want to just do 2 colors, so I did it against a background of like outer space. Like this was when, I think it was actually after the trend of the whole like, remember when everything was like galaxy prints, like leggings and stuff like that? Mm-hmm. And I kind of just loved that trend and wanted to do it in Lolita. So this was my contribution to bringing space prints to Lolita. But you'll notice it is a much longer dress. The print is much bigger. So that was a happy accident.
Oh, it was an accident.
Yes, that was not on purpose. When I sent the file to be printed, I gave them the wrong image resolution. So when it came, it was huge. And I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? And then I was like, well, my friend Abby wants to model for me, and she's really tall, so I'll just make it long and just use it, because I didn't have time to get it redone. So that's why Mystic Tarot is a long dress, because I don't know how DPI works.
Very happy accident, though, because we
very happy accident because of that T length. I think it makes Mossbadger iconic silhouette after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it was for me more easy to say let's collaborate with Mossbadger, because I wanted to show my tarot design more easy to show on the dresses. So which means the image has to be big. So I was so happy to ask you, like, if I work with you, then maybe the dress silhouette has to be the T length, because it's Mossbadger's kind of like iconic design.
Yeah, I really like the long length, and I started doing it pretty much all the time after that, because you don't have to, like, if you don't have good like pattern tights it kind of doesn't matter because you won't see that much of your tights. So it's actually kind of comfy even in the summer because you can just wear ankle socks. It can also be easier to wear to work. Like I've started at some point, I'm spending all this money on these dresses. I need to wear them more. So I started just dressing them down for work. And that like maxi length is, you just throw on a cardigan and you're good to go. So
I definitely like my chiropter and garden skirt for that reason, because I can wear it to like normie events and everyone's like, oh wow, it's so cool what you're wearing. Like everybody always comments on it and they don't know that it's from Lolita or anything.
Yeah, me too. I went to the Seoul once and there was one girl approaches to me and like, what is that dress from? And I'm like, it's actually from America. And she's like, give me that dress. And like website, so like wrote down for her, like it's for Mossbadger, you can go, and I'm not sure you can buy it, but like,
I've had that same conversation. I'm like, yeah, I mean, good luck trying to get it, but follow them anyways. All right, so that's the good story of the first one. So when you guys started collabing, did you know right away that you wanted to collab on a remake of Mystic Tarot, or did you have other ideas you started with first?
Sorry, like what was the question again?
When you guys started looking for ideas to collab, did you immediately know that you wanted to use Mystic Tarot, or did you cycle through any other ideas first?
Yes, I was really like, because I already have that dress. Oh, wait a second. Can you give me my dress? The Mystic Tarot is on the chair. So I already have the dress. So I'm like, and since you have the Mystic Tarot anyway, so I'm like, what if I can just do the collaborate with Mossbadger and with the T-Link and show the tarot, because the tarot panel, as I mentioned, it's good, it's big size enough that you can see the details. So I'm like, I would love to make my dress with showing the tarot cards, but kind of look not too much. I think one of my point was still like even normies can wear it. So with the good dress looking like T-length dress. So it was kind of meant to be with working with her. So I immediately just contact Mossbadger. I'm like, I'm still working on tarot cards and still a lot of dress like cards I have to draw, but can I do the collaboration with you? And she's like, okay. And I'm like, okay. No return.
Point of no return.
Yeah.
So I've got some images you guys sent me of that design. So I'm going to put them up and let you guys talk over them. So this was your first sketch, or your first layout?
Yes, that was the first sketch that I wanted to show that Mossbadger, the Jordana, like, this is how gonna like dress look like. And sorry, my cats are really hyped right now. She's like jumping. I don't know what's happening, but yeah. So, too distracted. So that was kind of like a very like light sketch. That what if I do like this way, but the sketch and the difference between the Mossbadger, the design was the Mystic Tarot is more dark color, but not kind of like too like nude or like gray color. It's the color itself is so beautiful, and I know that because I bought the dress and I seen the real life in the fashion show. So I had to ask her, like, since you're doing the collaboration, can you give me the background design of the galaxy image of the Mystic Tarot so we can be more like collaborated like feeling of the dresses? And it was kind of like I know it was too much for asking Mossbadger because it is already made with Mystic Tarot itself. And it's one of the iconic design from the Mossbadger. But I was so glad, like, Jordana was very like, okay, I can help you with that. So I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so angel. Like, yeah. So that was the sketch version. And if you show our print, the fabric design, it's kind of changed a bit because the color itself is more oh, my cat is like running everywhere. The color, so that is the sketch design of the dresses. And if you go to the fabric design of, yes, that's the final one. It looks more the deep color and more a lot of variety of the color, and looks more kind of mysterious and very magical way. It's the Mystic Tarot the Mystic Tarot dress itself is not just like galaxy theme. So I think it was more matching with the tarot, and this kind of looked really like beautiful. So I'm like, I was so happy after Jordana allowed me to use the background, the galaxy print itself. It's really, really beautiful.
Oh, well, I never realized it was the same galaxy image too. So that's a really cool like image that has gotten to carry through all of these different sets.
Yeah, it's originally an image from NASA because they actually let you use those images for they're in public domain. So it's like a real nebula.
Yeah, I love that though. I have for my own experience, you do have to do a lot of photo editing to really make it work for a print, which Jordana definitely did for Mystic Tarot. So it's not as easy as just taking the nebula from NASA. Jordana had to go in there and be like,
slap it on a dress.
Yeah, I'm really glad the galaxy theme have been changed to the like a trend in Lolita, as Jordana mentioned, because like before like 2014, it was not a thing in the Lolita for like too much variety of the colors. So when I started the Little Prince print, that was the first what I did, the galaxy print, and at that time the Angelic Pretty or other like major brand didn't start with the galaxy print at that time. So it was very risky for me. So I was like, am I the weirdo in Lolita fashion? And I was kind of concerned. But after like Jordana made the Mystic Tarot, and it was kind of like everybody was like, oh, this is cool. And the trend itself has changed to more galaxy theme, and it's acceptable to have a lot of variety color in the print, which is really, really nice. And I like that how the even indie designer can affect it to the Lolita fashion, the whole like trend itself. So I'm really happy about how the Mystic Tarot and the Mystic Wandering Spirit Tarot has been like combined together. That's all.
Oh, we have a question. Do you happen to know what nebula it is?
I'm trying to look because I want to say it's one of those 3 nebula, the pillars, but maybe it's the Carina Nebula? No, that doesn't look like it either. I'm like looking at Wikipedia trying to figure out what nebula it is.
Nebulous, which one it is.
Nebulous. No, well, they say nebula. Is nebula more than one? No, I don't know. Don't ask me science stuff. I don't know. It was pretty, so I put it on a dress. I don't know. It's one of the big ones because there's not small ones. Probably they're nebula. They have to all be big, right?
And just adding to Haenuli, what Haenuli said, this is a dress that later affected the original dress did affect the trends in Lolita, and you've seen that there have been a few different prints like that. Also, I think of Belladonna's Darwin print was also another one that was very like that. was new and affected the changes. And like Haenuli mentioned, Little Prince dress that she did.
Little Prince definitely was an influence. So full
No.
circle.
I'm just gonna scoop through the photos. So this was the first mock-up with the sketch. And
Yes.
then this was the final mock-up.
Yes. So that one is, yeah. So made with a mock-up with actual T-length dress. Yeah, I think the dress, because that kind of pattern of the design, like two cards, like 2 row of the cards and the 4 row of the like symbols on the top, those pattern really matches when it's the T length compared to just regular Lolita length.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of a little bit risk for me because I'm not Mossbadger. Mossbadger is very iconic with the T length, but I never made the T length, and I was a little bit scared that like I haven't made Lolita dresses for like almost 2 years, and like with the collaboration with the Poovy cell, is Poovy was like a charging, like a marching band, and she's like taking all the collaboration with my design, and she's like, run. And this time I was kind of like trying to take care of everything, like, Jordana, trust on me. And I'm like, I have no guts for that. So I was kind of scared. So I did mention to Jordana, like, what if people don't remember me or forget about me? And what if people don't buy even I collaborate with Mossbadger? Oh my God. Like, that was kind of like scared. And every time Jordana was really like cheer me up, and it really huge meaning for collaborating with a lot of like Poovy Cell and Jordana, but it was really like both of you guys are really giving me a lot of strength. And I need to like mention about Kelsey as well, because she was the designer of I Do Declare, and collaborating with her was so amazing as well. So yeah, so it has been always really giving me huge lesson and inspires when I work with American designers, and really like learning some kind of like freedom soul, or like, you know, deep inside something. So it's really huge lesson.
Oh, you can't quite see the comments, but everybody is sending you lots of love, Haenuli.
Aww. Thank you, guys.
So let's see what else we have in here. So this is some more close-ups.
Yes.
Look at that. When you were designing, so for tarot, it's interesting because you have characters that you want to use in your tarot cards, but you also have the prompts of the kind of meaning behind tarot and the types of cards they had to be. Was it hard coming up with concepts where you could match your characters to the concept of tarot?
The matching with the tarot concept was not that hard. I think it's very makes sense. The one of the Lolita asked me, like, how do you think about making Girl and Skeleton to be a tarot? Because the Girl and Skeleton is a lot of metaphor and symbolism, or there's a lot of meaning behind the drawings. Like for example, the girl has no expression, like no angry face or no smiling face. Like usually like just a little bit open her mouth, like something that she was trying to talk. And Skeleton is always making really sad face, because the skeleton itself is referencing of like depression, and for some people could be like a passing person, like lost family, lost friends, kind of like that. So it was, I think that those everything kind of combined together really meant to other people, really resonate to other people. So it makes sense to be a tarot card, because it's it is a lot of symbols and metaphors as well. And it was really happy to work with it. It was kind of a little bit pain because like almost include the bonus card. It was like 82 cards. So it was pain, but it was so worth to try. And I'm so happy that I both finished the tarot cards and finished the dress design. So I can't wait. All the backers from the Kickstarter will receive the collaborated dresses of Mossbadger and Haenuli, the Mystic Wandering Spirit. And I'm really sure they were gonna be really happy as much as I did because I was so happy to work with Jordana and all the colors came out so pretty and the card looked really nice in the dresses. So I'm really happy.
I like too that you definitely took cues from the original Mystic Tarot design and how Jordana also, like she was saying, didn't want to just do the standard tarot and included some of these more very fine line work Gothic elements. And you also took from that design and included it in your reimagining with how you've done the border here as well. Oh, here's some more. Look at this. So lovely. I love this. I think this is my favorite one of the tarot cards because of the jawbone crown. Excellent.
Mm-hmm. That is actually one of my iconic, the design of, the drawing itself from the Skeleton and the Maiden series. So yeah, I definitely thought I should put that in the tarot card, and it came out really nice. And since like I'm like collaborating with Jordana, so Jordana's the Mossbadger, the symbol is the Mossbadger, the character, with the like a cameo design. So I had to make like small Nunu dot burst like compared to like that. So yeah, that one. So I
love that so much.
I didn't even ask Jordana like I'm gonna draw like this. I just draw it and like, hey, cheers the design. Boom, what do you think? And Jordana was like, oh, this is sweet. I'm like, she's so sweet to me. I really appreciate Jordana is really like whatever I draw, she always supports. She makes me really spoiled, but yeah, it was really happy to kind of like make kind of like matching together. So it kind of really looked like collaborating. So I think when I do the future with like other designers, I think making kind of like this kind of like logo would be a very good idea as well.
Oh, I love it. It's so cute. It also reminds me of like when you go into an old-timey family home and they've got like the family portraits up there.
So I actually made the label, the hang tag, like this. I'm not sure. So it's hologram. So
I've got a picture over here as well. Oh, the camera is not.
It's too bright.
There you go. Now you can see it.
Thank you, camera assistant.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that looks really cool.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
So it's actually a gold color paper, but since I printed the hologram, the foil stamp, it doesn't look like gold color paper anymore. It just looks like yellow. It has actually like a pearl, but it doesn't really visible anymore because the hologram is much more stronger. So.
I think it'll still show up in person though.
Yeah.
As the pearlescent. And you also
those are really cool.
You put the design on the tags as well.
Yes. So the tags have the Mossbadger character and the new character at the same time. So I hope people enjoy this as well.
I love that. I love when I love special tags like that because it really gives you that like it reminds you that this is a very unique piece that you can only get at a unique time. It's different from all the others. Let's see, what else do we have in here? Okay, I think that was the last one. We have the picture of the tarot cards too. I'll leave that up for now. I love too that you have like I really like I'm very interested in just different paper product printing and printing methods. I find it very interesting. So I love that Haenuli always goes and gets those extra mile, like the gold and the holographic and the nice paper, and gets all of these specialty printing done when she does all of her paper products.
Yeah, it makes them extra special.
In the paper, the printing product for like half of a year. So I think that gave me a lot of lessons. And after that, I kind of like good paper must to be good paper, you know, kind of a little bit like a goal of like paper, like good paper, like, yeah. So it really helped me to make, I did make some books like their story, the story you don't know, the skeleton in the maiden book, and the Nunu's diary about the Haenuli shop, how to make all the Lolita dresses, and the story about like daily life to be as a Lolita. So it really helped me a lot to inspire how to make with the good quality, or obsess with the good quality. So yeah.
Okay, I remember when my story you don't know had the clear printing in the middle, and I got to that page and I was like, how did you do this? Where did you find this printing capability? It was excellent. And the diary, that's on my wish list. I think you only had that at one event, and I was like, no, I want it. Give it to me. So, somebody is holding on to that and doesn't want theirs. Give it to me, please.
Yeah, my plan is.
Go ahead. I'm just gonna check the photos.
Is actually doing the Haenuli, like, I mean the version of the Nunu diary with all the Lolita stories, and making like a comic book style just like the Nunu diary did, and make with the second volume. That's the new goal. So hope that works.
Oh yes, I am very excited for that. That will be coming home with me eventually. So I think at this point, I'm going to open it up to any questions. And while we're waiting on the questions, I am going to cycle through some of these fantastic, lovely photos. And I know some people are going to ask, is this dress, the Kickstarter has ended? Is there going to be any more opportunities for this dress in the future? Or if even the tarot cards or any of the side items as well. While I flip through these beautiful photos.
We are definitely going to make some new stocks. Me and Jordana is figuring out how much we need to make. Because when the Kickstarter was done, a lot of people did ask, like, I lost the chance. Can I participate Kickstarter right now? But it was a little bit complicated because we have too much items. So
all those stretch goals.
I did not expect that. I did not expect. As I mentioned, because I was so concerned that people forget about me or like didn't really like get attention. So I was really unsure how to put the stretch goal. So my stretch goal was like, even like this people support, that will be really appreciate. Like, and it jumped like 700% in a day or something. It was massive. So I still really blessed, and I really feel that I'm really blessed by a lot of Lolitas that supporting really hard. And thank you so much for all the people for.
Speaking of it being impressed, I was super impressed with you being like, oh, I need to add stretch goals. And then you were on that. You were there with stretch goal products immediately somehow. And I was like, oh, beautiful. Like, oh, the business skills there, the management skills, time management, that you got those out there and ready. I was so, yes. And also with this photo, I love that you gave a shout out to the other indie designers too, because you've got the I Do Declare blouse included. You've got my necklace. You've got Voodoo Dolly, of course, and I also was very touched by that you would in this like very iconic series between you and Mossbadger that you'd also give that little shout out to the other indie brands.
Yeah, I really because I personally owned everything. So I really needed to show because it is, as you mentioned, it's one of the items from each brand, and it's really lovely. And even if people don't know, they had to know. That was my idea. So it was lovely to see all the combined work very well as well. I'm still want to tag the person who did the necklace, not the heart shape. This one. I still don't know who designer was that necklace. I definitely got it as a raffle from one of the Lolita conventions, so I'm pretty sure it's a indie designer. But yeah, if you guys know, just let me know.
It looks familiar. Maybe later we can ask her because I've definitely seen it before. So I know the brand, but it's like on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember which brand it is exactly. Well, we do have some questions now, so I'm going to start us off with the first one. So both of you, what is your favorite tarot card meaning?
I like everything because I draw everything. Draw everything. It took almost like a year because tried to match with the card each of the meaning. The really hard to draw was the king cards, but it ended up really came out very nice. So I love that one as well. So I don't know. It's hard to pick only one. What about you, Jordana?
I don't know. I know that I'm afraid of the tower. It's like most of my tarot knowledge is like, oh, the tower card is scary. Yeah, and I usually like the Fool card because there's usually a dog on the card somewhere. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just like a little dog in the corner. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll just go with the Fool because there's a dog. That's probably the most me answer, but
I like seeing other artists' interpretations of the Fool card too. I feel like that's a card that you see a lot of variety in.
Yeah.
So our next question here. How would you approach someone to discuss a collaboration? Do you have to know them personally first?
I don't think so. I think it depends on each designer desires and the business desires is matched. They can collaborate. So in my case, I do know Jordana personally, but as I try to make the tower of our dress looks like iconic design, like Mystic Tarot, like T Lang, and the same silhouette as the iconic Jordana's dresses, like kind of like if you respect other designers' desire of the business role, like kind of like that, I'm pretty sure other designers can say yes in that situation. For the collaboration with Pubithel suggested me first, and yeah, how did you thought about me?
Well, I mean, I felt like you were a very obvious choice. There was very obvious to me in the Lolita community that people were wanting ways to interact with your work more, and because the story you don't know and the skeleton and the lady were such a heartfelt piece that they're very Menhera in that sense, and I thought that giving you an opportunity to do something with Menhera or Yami Kawaii would be something that you would both be very good at and that people would take people by surprise. So I thought it would make a big splash in that everyone would be like, what? We didn't know Haenuli could do this. Even though to me, I was like, oh, of course Haenuli can do this. And I was very honored too that you were willing to trust me with that. I'll say that part of the collabs is most of the time I do work with people who I know, but even with Haenuli, who I did know, I made a big point of saying, okay, these are the expectations from you. What are your expectations from me? This is how the artwork is going to be used. Do you agree to this? And keeping good records and being very upfront and clear and on exactly what it is you're doing, like down to the fine detail, to avoid having any miscommunications. That's a very important part of collaborations. And Jordana, is it the same for you?
Yeah, I would say like communication is definitely the most important thing. So it can be easier to communicate if you know the person personally. But, you know, you could also, as long as you're upfront about what you're expecting and that they can be upfront about what they're expecting, I think, you know, that's the most important part.
Absolutely. Let's see the next question here. Have you ever been inspired by media you didn't expect to be an influence on a print?
I get my print ideas from some weird places.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Sometimes they just sort of pop into my brain and I don't know where they're from. Like the whole bat dress, I think I just really was like, why are bats always kind of kept to Halloween? Like there's a whole rest of the year and like bats are around all year. So then I was like, what would it look like to make a bat print that was like for spring and like romantic? So that's where that came from. And I guess I made a print like, I always say that I like forgot how to read because I just, at some point, like I haven't had time to read books and I've been trying to get back into reading books, but I just keep rereading the same book. Because I have it on audiobook and then I can do something else. And I got into this series called A Discovery of Witches. And it's like kind of cheesy, but I love it. It's like a love story between a witch and a vampire. And they made like a mini series version of it, like for TV. And I guess I made a print that was inspired by that, which was the Alchemist book print that I had. That was like originally for a RuffleCon, but I think now that RuffleCon's over, I could just like bring it back. I think I could do that.
Yes.
Because that was a really good print and like only a couple people got it. So
bring it back.
Yeah.
There is a Mossbadger is one of the design I really like is the witch spelling the dress. I think you have the picture one of that.
Yeah, that was the one you had up first, Poobie, with the 3 people in it.
Oh.
The like black and white print.
That one was really kind of shocking for me because it's not really like the people who know about when people say about obvious like Lolita print, it's not such a thing. So it was really shocking and gave me a lot of lessons. And that's kind of like
it.
It was in the one we did for the Lolita Collective anniversary, I think.
But that's a whole nother section. But I'll get that.
Yeah. That print is based on the Compendium Maleficarum, which is like a 17th century book about how to identify witches and like capture them, which is kind of sad, but has really good woodcuts in it. So because unlike Nunu, I can't draw very well. So I have to find things that already exist that I am allowed to use. So that's why I use so many like old paintings and things because I can usually find them in the public domain and a good resolution that I can print. But yeah, that was one of the dresses that I hand screen printed. And I've been asked to bring it back and I'm trying to figure out a way to do it. Yes, that dress.
Yes, that dress.
Because
it's really, really not usual Lolita. I mean the good way. It's not boring Lolita dress. So I was kind of really shocked at that time. So I'm like, wait, what? You know, it's really one of I think very iconic. And if outsider of Mossbadger person can say if I pick one dresses like looks this is Mossbadger, I think that is one of the Mossbadger dresses because it's really unusual dress. dress, and which is in the good way. It's very unique, very not ordinary. That word is correct.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
This one's also screen printed, right?
Yeah, and it's a beast. Because like it just looks like white, but it's actually metallic white because the metallic white is more opaque than the opaque white ink. But metallic ink like ups your difficulty level because it dries in the screen faster, so you can't reuse the screen as many times before you have to like rinse it out and wait for it to dry. We gained a cat, but we lost a poobie.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Hi, Kitty. Which cat is that?
It's Uchu.
Hi, Uchu. Oh my goodness, hi. But yeah, it's really hard to print this because it's multiple different screens, and the metallic white is just harder to print. But I wanted it to be a little bit sparkly, but also I wanted it to stand out against the black. So that's why I went with the metallic white. But yeah, there's a reason why there's only like 10 of these in the world. And I would like to bring it back. I just need to figure out a way to do it that doesn't make the dress cost like $1,000, because it takes me about 8 hours to screen print the fabric for one dress.
8 hours.
Do it anyways. Charge $1,000. There will absolutely be a few people willing to buy that bespoke of a dress. Absolutely.
So
screen print is really hard. One of the goal was making the Mystic Peril as a screen print as well, and the factory is like, no, this cannot. Sorry, like kind of like that. It has to be print. I feel sad because one of my goal was printing with all the gold and for the black color, but that did not happen. So has to be a little bit more simple design, I guess. So I'm really admire that you did all by yourself. Oh my God, I can't do it.
I remember I'd have to go, so there's an art center that's near where I live. Sometimes I teach there, and that's where I would do my printing. And I would have to get there like at 6 a.m. early before anyone else, because I would use all the tables just to print. Because, obviously you want to try to print more than one at a time. So you just need to take up all of the space and lay out all the fabric so you can go around. So it was like a whole thing. Yeah.
That's amazing. So any last minute questions? And I'm going to mention again, I see more love for indie brands here. We've got Automatic Honey, and I believe that's Hysteria Machine as well.
Yes.
You have quite the collection of quality indie goods.
I really love indie designers because myself is indie designers as well. And supporting indie designer is really important. And that's what I learned from lots of American designers, because they always mention, not try to say like, I'm the good indie designers, not others. It's not like kind of like that. It really feels like supporting each other, and not even just designers. The Lolitas in community itself is also in that way. So I wanted to show that I also really enjoy indie designers' items as well, and you can coordinate very well without like brand stuff. So it worked very well.
Yes. Oh, Latte has an opinion too. Latte also supports indie designers.
Yes, that's Latte.
Yeah, I kind of miss Automatic Honey. I don't know if they're still doing anything, but I remember having to go through those bloodbaths, and I would order stuff for Nunu and send it to her.
Oh, Latte. Oh, we got to zoom in on the cat. Hold on. There we go. Aww. Bonus guest, Latte.
Hello.
Yay! He was a birthday boy.
Oh, happy birthday, Latte. So good. Yeah, so I'm like 90% sure that like a year from now, Automatic Honey is just gonna like come out of nowhere with the release, and everybody is gonna like be scrambling. That's what I think is gonna happen with them.
I think they were my first collaboration. I did a collaboration with them and Voodoo Dolly.
Mm-hmm.
Years
I remember.
ago.
And that was also with Kimura Yu, correct?
Yeah.
Like that was all for a look for her for Techo.
Yeah. The olden days.
That was an iconic moment in indie Lolita history for sure. Seeing all of those together. All right, well, I'm gonna leave them one more minute for comments, and I'm gonna quickly scroll through the remainder of these beautiful photos. Look at this. You always have such lovely photo shoots, Haenuli. Do you have do you rent a studio to do these shoots, or do you have like somebody you work with who puts these together for you?
My model have been changed since after 2013, and so in Korea there's a lot of studios that you can actually rent for like 2 hours, like 4 hours, kind of like that. And each room has a lot of different kind of concepts. So I usually went there and doing with the photo shoot with my one of photographer. She is working with one of kind of famous the woman clothes in Korea shopping mall. So yeah, it worked very well. And the model itself is actually actress in Korea. So she knows what I want. So it's really nice to work. And since we've been like almost since like 2013, so it's almost like 9 years, like 8 years, So they know what I want, and you don't need to tell them because already work very long time. So it's really good to work with them.
That's fantastic.
I always look up to what Nunu does because Haenuli is my favorite brand. And I'm like, okay, I need to be more like Nunu and get like real photo shoots.
I'm glad because Mossbadger photo shoot has been like really improved for several years. So I'm glad if I inspired.
You say that, but I think you were one of the first to ever have like a video lookbook for your Halloween is Forever.
Yeah, which I totally did because Nunu made a video. I literally was like, Nunu had that video with Deerstalker.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, if Nunu's making a video, that means my next goal is I need to make a video.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's amazing.
I did not know that. Yes. That video was so good. I remember that. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, and if you saw the designer showcase we had yesterday, all of the other brands, including the Japanese brands, have taken note and have started to try and put their own things together like that. All right, we are at time, so I'm gonna end it here. Thank you both of you for joining me and letting us take a peek at your collaborative process. We really appreciate you being here.
I'm so glad we got to twin. I'm wearing my tarot dress and my Poovy necklace.
Yeah, I'm having
triple fortune bonnet.
Haenuli has an OG black and gunmetal one from when they had white stones instead of white and black stones instead of all black.
I think it's the gunmetal and the
opalescent. Yeah, you have one of the original ones of those too. I think.
Yeah,
I think you've had that one for a while.
Yeah.
I think you both got. Did you both get that at the same Techo? Now that
probably.
I think so too because I went to your the booth 2 times. So yeah, I do have several colors of these. So I'm really glad. And I ordered it. Oh yeah.
They go with everything.
It really matches with every kind of cord. I'm sad because I bought the white one and I did the underwater shoot, and it got rust after. But I pulled more from the water because the water was so many chemicals inside, and I forgot to dry it immediately. So it got really quickly. So I was so sad after that. So I'm
If you want a replacement, I can send you one. Right now, I currently have them. I probably won't have them in a week from now, but if you want a replacement, let me know and I'll send you one.
Oh, yay!
That photo shoot was an iconic moment for me, too. I still pull those out sometimes, and I'm like, whenever I feel sad, I'm like, oh, but Haenuli did an underwater photo shoot and is wearing it, so, you know, everything is better.
Yeah, I do not know how to swim, but I did take a picture with underwater shoot with wedding photo. So I'm like,
those photos are so gorgeous. Everybody go look them up later. They're so good. All right, well, I will let you go, and I will start getting ready for the tea party soon. To our attendees, thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you at the next panel that is coming shortly. I don't remember what it is, but the overlay card will say it. So, bye, everybody.
Bye.
hi.